Boys Club.
Is it called Boys Club because my apartment looks like a boy lives in it?
I wouldn't say a boy lives in it. I would say a boy is kidnapped somewhere in here.
Boys Club.
We're everything. We're true crime. We're World Star Hip Hop.
World Star Hip Hop. We're Netflix reviews.
Stories of the day.
Boys Club.
Listen.
Yeah, do it. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. I think. No, we're not. And on Google Play. Nobody gives a shit.
Boys Club.
Boys Club Podcast. Now with 90% more sound clips of black people.
Boys Club.
Touch me, and I'll sue.
Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. Because I think that's where you'll find them. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey there, Internet. Welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast. This is your weekly comedy variety talk show, and I'm your host, Sarah. And welcome back to the podcast where I shoot the shit with friends, comedians, and various guests about life while drinking. And if you're a brand new listener, welcome to the shit show. This week's guest is the very funny Adrienne Gabrielle. She is a comic here in Halifax that I've been trying to get on for a while now. I've seen her a bunch of times, and finally I was able to run up to her and tell her, come on my podcast! And she was so excited to do it. So glad I got to hang out with Adrienne. This was so fun. So we drank some Prosecco, and I got to know Adrienne, who I actually didn't really know that well going into this interview, but we talked a lot about comedy, challenges in comedy. We talked about traveling. Adrienne has totally inspired me to take a solo trip and just start living my damn life. So thank you for that, Adrienne, for the inspiration. This was a great conversation. I really had a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to love Adrienne. She's great. And she is someone who kind of goes there with comedy. She kind of likes to push the boundaries a bit, and I really appreciate that about her. That's kind of my favorite kind of comedy, is the kind where you can mostly relate to it, and then every now and then you get that kind of tinge of uncomfortableness, but it's still funny. And she definitely has a lot of that in her comedy. So loved Adrienne, loved this episode. Hope you guys will too. Do make sure to follow Adrienne on social media. I will link below to her Instagram account. And if you're in the Halifax area, stay tuned for Ladies' Night at the Oasis, which will be on December 3rd. So that's a couple weeks away. It's always an amazing time at Oasis downtown in Halifax. It's usually a stacked lineup of amazing female comics. I'm usually there being really loud in the front row, throwing my bras at them. So it's a really good time, and you guys should come out and see Adrienne on that lineup, as well as a bunch of others. You can follow myself on Instagram as well. I am at Sarah with an H, MACL, and of course Intoxicated at Intoxicated Podcast. That's both on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter at _Toxicated. If you dig what you hear, make sure you are subscribed on any app that you use, so that you don't miss an episode. You can leave an iTunes rating or review as well. And if you happen to be listening to this and really digging what you hear and you're having fun, give it a share. I would love to see people sharing the fact that they're listening. Because, I want to know if you guys like this. I want to know if you're digging what I'm doing. It's always appreciated. 138 episodes in, it never gets old hearing that people are enjoying the show. So share it on social media. Tell a friend. That's even better. Share it and tag your friends, maybe even. That would be like the best way to get the word out. Also, if you're someone who has been listening and you have any questions, feedback, or comments, you can email that to intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're a big fan, you can check out Patreon. So that is patreon.com/intoxicated. I'm really hoping to ramp that up a bit in the coming weeks. Life has just been balls out crazy. I've been saying this on every intro for the past month, but I feel like I am just struggling to keep up with everything. So I'm trying to get my shit together to ramp that Patreon up and hopefully get more Patreons. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, enjoy this awesome episode with the very lovely and hilarious Adrienne Gabrielle.
Oh, what's the bell?
So the bell is...
I've heard the bell when I've listened to your podcast, and I still don't know what it means.
It's kind of like positive reinforcement, like, yes, good point. I agree. Or
okay.
like if you say something really funny, like I'll usually ding it.
Okay.
So it's just a positive reinforcement bell.
Oh, okay. Like Pavlov.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It kind of started off being like when people would burn. Like if a guest was to burn me, which I encourage. Yeah. I encourage burning. Okay. And roasting and all that.
Okay, I'll try to do my best.
Actually, that's something. Well, I'll get into it when we start the episode. But yeah. So it started off as that, but then I kind of started dinging it when I would just agree with guests. Like if they made a really good point, like I would ding it, and then it just feels good to ding it.
Okay. Cool.
So we'll get it started. Welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast, everybody. Oh boy! I'm very, very excited to have someone I've wanted to have on the show for a while now. Adrienne Gabrielle! She's here. She made it.
I made it.
This has been in the works for a bit.
Yes.
And scheduling and all that. But you're one of those people I was like, I will take whatever day you can give me.
Yeah, and I didn't know that you were hunting me down. Had I known that, I wouldn't have, like I said to you, I get up at 5:30 in the morning, so I kind of like when I'm done and the show's over, I'm like out of there.
You're out of there. And that's understandable, because I mean, if you get up at 5:30 to get a good sleep, what time do you normally go to bed?
I never get a good sleep.
I love this! Me neither!
But if I were to get a good sleep, I'd probably go to bed at like 9:30 or something like that.
9:30, 10.
10 at the latest,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't. It's like 10:30, 11, and then I wake up. For some reason, my internal alarm clock gets me up between 4:30 and 5.
Holy shit.
So, yeah.
And do you like that?
No, I fucking hate it.
Man, I don't understand, like, these people who have internal alarm clocks that wake them up so early.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I've never had that. I could probably naturally sleep till 11 at all times.
I've never done that, ever.
No?
No.
That's
Even
crazy.
if I stay up late, which I've never been a late night person.
Right.
The latest I've ever slept is like 10.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but you don't, that's interesting though, that like, that's your natural habit, but you don't like it. It's always fascinating to me because I have a friend who also works government and gets up, she does like media monitoring and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so she gets up like before the news comes out. So she gets up mega early. Ugh. And it's the same thing with her. Like, she's like, they said I'd get used to it, but I haven't yet. And I still fucking hate it. And I'm just like, it's just interesting to me. Like, choosing a lifestyle that you hate. Like with my job, like I gotta get up at 7, which isn't too bad.
Right.
Like that's, like to me, that's normal time to get up.
Well, I get up at 5:30 to work out.
Yeah.
And then I have to be to work for 8:15. So if I got up, like I'm an early bird, but like early is like, 7, maybe 7:30, but not 5:30. That's 5:30. Fucking disgusting.
5:30 is brutal.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I mean, like, and especially in the winter when there's no sun. Like, are you affected by the winter? Like everybody else?
I never used to be, but now I find that I am now. I find that it's miserable. Like, I'm just miserable.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I do. I hate it too.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel natural waking up when there's no sun.
No, it doesn't. And I heard they're talking about getting rid of daylight savings time.
How the heck? How do you just get rid of that though?
Well, there's a lot of places that don't even have it. There's a lot of countries that don't even have it.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, and I would move there in a second if I knew which ones they were, but
I don't like it when it works against me. I actually found myself really enjoying the extra hour this time around, where we got the extra hour. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm just busy.
But the problem with the extra hour is that it's fucking like dark as shit when you wake up in the morning.
I know.
It's gross.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Mornings are, I hate mornings.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, people who know me well know, do not talk to me before 11.
Yeah. And then the other problem is that it's also really dark when you leave work.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucked either way.
You're fucked either way. Oh man, I mean, we're just getting into the winter now. Like the first snow happened recently, and like we're just at the beginning. I feel like every year I don't have a fall. Like fall is like a month.
Yeah,
it feels like because summer lasts well into September. Mm-hmm. Like so I think September 20th is the first day of fall.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know.
But like it, and then like November comes and there's snow on the ground.
Yeah,
so it's we have October. October's my favorite.
month.
I love the fall. I really do. But like you, I agree. It's quite short.
Yeah, it's too short.
But yeah, so like this daylight saving times, yeah, it really does. It sucks. It really
fucks
does.
with ya.
I'm exhausted.
That should just be the title of the episode. We're exhausted.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm really stoked to have you on. So this podcast is kind of around drinking. So when I asked you what you wanted to drink, you said Prosecco, and that was your first thing that came out of your mouth. So that's what I got today.
I'm a classy bitch.
You are
Thank
a classy ass bitch.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever had Prosecco on this podcast. I think I've had Prosecco's not champagne though, right?
No, it's
different.
Champagne. The only you can only call sparkling wine champagne if it comes from the Champagne region of France.
Oh.
Prosecco is Italian sparkling wine.
Okay.
And then there's other sparkling wines that can't be called Prosecco because it's not from Italy. Although I've seen people try. I think that's kind of changing. That some manufacturers or whatever you call them, vineyards. I don't know. I'm classy, but I'm not that classy.
We don't know shit.
They I think they've tried to sneak in the word Prosecco on their wines, even though they're from California or something.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love the word. Like, I just want to say Prosecco. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's sensual.
It is.
Now this terrifies me. Opening.
Do you want me to help you?
Can you do it?
I'm a pro.
Does it pop like champagne? Like,
It does.
Is it
Have
gonna
you
go
been?
flying?
Did you like jog home with this in your knapsack or something? 'Cause
It
we're
was in
gonna-
my purse, but
Okay,
it was sitting in the fridge for a good half hour.
We could be in trouble. So who's gonna like deep throat this if it starts to overflow?
Not me. It's going to you.
I volunteer.
We'll just hope and pray. And if it starts to spill, just put it this way.
Okay.
I'm scared. Oh my god. Ooh, that was fun.
Yeah. Right.
That was a lot of fun.
It's festive.
Oh my god, that's fabulous. So
Yeah.
pour yourself a glass as
Thank
big as you
you.
want.
Oh,
And obviously
okay.
you're taking the leftovers with you for your
Oh my god.
girls' night.
Fun.
So you're a Prosecco girl. So
I am.
What
I
is this
love
your
Prosecco.
poison?
It is absolutely my poison. I drink at least one a week.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is your kind of go-to brand, eh?
Well,
Or your suggested brand?
this one's easy. It's like in a lot of the in the liquor stores, you know?
Right. Yes. So it is it, how do you pronounce that?
Well, I call it Gancia.
Gancia? Prosecco dry.
Yeah.
Yum yum. So we got some ice here. We're gonna keep it cold.
Awesome.
It's like a hotel room.
Sweet.
That's the feel that I wanted for this episode.
I feel like I'm on an out call.
Yeah, we're both conference women who are getting silly in a hotel. Business women.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my god, we have to start with the cheers.
Cheers.
Has to happen. Here we go.
Yummy.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like it way better than champagne already.
Yeah?
Yeah, I tend to get so sick on champagne.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's the bubbles.
Well, there's definitely a lot of bubbles in this, but
It's not as sweet.
it's not as sweet. I don't know what champagne like you've had, but I tend to go
cheap.
for a very
Cheap.
I tend to go for a very dry, like champagne that kind of has a yeasty taste. They call it like toasty.
Toasty.
Yeah, like a toast kind of flavor.
Oh, maybe that's my
Yeah.
issue. I think that there was a period of my life that I drank a lot of really cheap wine and champagne that was like overly sweet and just like $10.
Yeah, that'll do it.
what
That'll
was-
ruin you.
Yeah, there's one brand in particular that
Baby Duck.
it might have been it might very well have been Baby Duck. But there was one brand of champagne that we used to get every New Year's Eve. And every New Year's Eve, we would just like go all out with the champagne. And like I would drink a lot and then I would just be puking.
Did it begin with an F? I can't pronounce it. There's one in the liquor store that's like, it begins with an F.
Oh, it was Spumante.
That's another horrid one.
Yeah, that's what I used to drink all the time for
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Spumante.
Spumante, yeah. I used to like exclusively drink wine.
Yeah.
And it was always white wine from the Germany section with blue bottles. So it wouldn't matter the brand as long as it was in a blue bottle. $10 from the Germany section. That's what I would always get.
German wine, I find a lot of it tends to be sweeter. And I could be wrong, but I've noticed
100%.
a lot of sweet wines from Germany. And I absolutely dislike sweet wines.
And I don't know how I did it back then, but I did.
Those would give you really bad hangovers. I think it's the sugars that gives a bad hangover. One of the things.
Absolutely, because I also used to get sick on vodka cranberries all the time. I would drink really fruity vodka drinks. Like, we would go out. There was a time. Have you always lived in Halifax? Or
no?
Okay, there was a time that there was dollar drinks at the Dome, which was the bar downtown, and I would go out and get like doubles or like vodka cranberries, like
fun.
No soda water or anything, just vodka cranberry.
Good for those UTIs.
Oh my God. Or vodka limes, vodka with lime juice.
That would be yummy too.
And I would get so sick and I would puke and it would burn my throat.
Oh my God. You're like,
so
I don't know what the problem is.
Fred.
Why does this keep happening?
I don't think I was ever built to drink a lot of alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Like, my family, like, my dad loves scotch and like,
I like scotch.
They like to partake in wine and scotch and stuff, but like
Yeah.
my sisters aren't big drinkers.
Right.
One sister, like, I don't think she ever really drinks.
Wait a second. You're not a big drinker and you
have
host a drinking podcast.
I think I had to find what I can drink.
Right.
So vodka sodas is what I can drink.
Yeah, I love
can get
vodka
drunk.
sodas.
Yeah, I
They're good.
I can pound back the vodka sodas. Beer, I get sick.
Yeah, that's nasty.
So it's not so much that I can't drink, it's just that like I will not have the best time on certain alcohols.
Right.
Which is beer for sure. I can have maybe 2 beer and that's my limit on beer.
Yeah.
And then
I can drink 1.
yeah.
And then I'm
it
like,
just makes me bloaty.
yeah, me too.
And I hate the feeling I get when I drink
Yeah.
beer. I think if I were to drink a beer, it would be on a patio, like it would be a Corona on a patio.
Yeah, like in the hot weather. Yeah.
Like, I like that. And I have beer in my fridge at all times for, like, when dudes come over and I'm like, you want a beer? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's something I should have in my fridge doing this podcast where, like, you just never know what people are going to want to drink.
Right.
So I try to have a variety of things on tap here. But yeah, no, vodka sodas is kind of where I figured out, okay, I can drink a lot of this, get drunk, and not be too sick.
Vodka soda is totally like a lady drink because it's like so low in calories.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
This is
Which I
not
hear.
as much.
I hear that they're low in calories.
They are. Supposedly.
I wonder, do you think that it's like the healthiest thing you could drink, or are there healthier options?
I don't think, well, I'd say vodka cranberry because there's some cranberry or something. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I think pretty much all alcohol is poison. So
It's so true.
So if you're going to drink, fuck it. Just drink what you want.
It's so true. Like, a lot of people lose so much weight when they just stop drinking at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that's brave.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's brave
Good
of
for
you.
Susan.
Good on you,
Lost
Susan.
10 pounds. Nice. Okay, I'm going to have another Chardonnay.
Chardonnay. What was I going to say? Do you remember the first time you got drunk as a young kid or teenager?
Oh my God, yeah. I think I was like 12. And
12!
yeah. And I used to paddle for Sonobe. And that's on Lake Vanook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we used to have these camping trips where all the people from all the people of your age group would go with their coach to an island on Lake Micmac. This is really creepy. Like, this would never happen today. So the coach would go off with like a group of like, let's say 25 12, 13-year-olds and maybe one other coach. So two
Guys
coaches.
and girls?
Yeah, sometimes our coaches, I always had guy coaches. And so the guy coaches would take guys and girl paddlers, and sometimes it was just the girls. It usually went by like a war canoe. Like, there's like 14 kids in a war canoe.
Right.
And so, but sometimes I remember there were co-ed sleepovers too. And so we'd go off to these islands and sleep over, and like we would get somebody to buy us booze, and we'd get drunk.
Oh my God.
And the coach would like eventually fall asleep, and we'd be running around like fucking maniacs on this little island.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I almost drowned one time.
Holy shit.
Like
That's wild. Like, would you be camping?
Or
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
camping.
you'd camp. You'd like. So we would just like we'd bring our sleeping bags and bring like marshmallows and like some weird food, like maybe some hot dogs and who knows what, like just survival type food because we'd cook over a campfire.
Yeah.
And our parents would just drop us off at the club and be like, see you later, have fun. And we would just go out there and we'd sleep on the ground.
And someone would always get the booze. Someone was the booze.
Someone got
getter.
the booze. Yeah. Somebody's older brother, sister, whatever. And that was the first time I got drunk was on one of those islands. I'm surprised we didn't have someone die because we were like little maniacs running around.
And like you're on this island.
Wasted. An island.
Just you.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the booze was?
It was beer.
Beer, yeah.
And I had 5 to me, 5 to myself.
Oh my God. I mean, 5 would get me drunk now.
Oh my God, I couldn't drink 5. And I don't think I made it through 5. I probably had like maybe 2, maybe 3. Oh, yeah,
12 though. Like, that would
wasted.
be. I remember being really young and getting sips of beer from my dad.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's a huge drinker. Cheers.
Cheers.
And
cheers. Well, I mean,
cheers.
my dad's not, but
Yeah.
well, I mean, he likes to drink, but not to that level. But
so my dad is, and whenever I'd go, he'd need a new beer, I would go to the fridge and I'd pop it for him, and I'd always get a sip. So
little
same
sip.
with you.
Yeah, I think that was probably it was probably like a Labatt Blue or like a Keese, one of those.
Yeah, I think my dad's is a Labatt's Blue.
Yeah. And I remember it was always ice cold.
Yeah.
And it was always in the summer on the deck.
Yep.
And so I associate beer with like being a patio drink.
Yeah. First taste is free.
Yeah.
And then you want it
Yeah.
at the camping trip with the 12-year-olds.
God, that's so funny. Also hilarious because you're right. That probably wouldn't happen these days.
Oh my God, absolutely not. And it was awesome. Like it was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even before we'd get drunk and if we didn't have alcohol on the trip, because we didn't get it every single time. It's hard to find people who would buy booze for 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Know? So on those times when we didn't have it, it was still fun.
How could you hide the fact that you had drank?
Well, we would start drinking when the coach would get bored, I'm sure. And he was like, okay, I've had enough of this shit. You guys are, I'm like, they were like, say, I would guess that they were probably like 18 maybe. And they're like, I'm tired of dealing with a bunch of 12-year-olds. I'm just going to go to sleep.
I'm passing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they were drunk too.
You guys do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, I've had, my buzz is wearing off. I'm going to bed. You guys can do what you want.
Man.
Just don't kill yourselves.
Don't kill.
And so.
And you almost drowned, you said?
Yeah, I was out in a canoe because we'd get there by motorboat and canoes, if I remember. Yeah, like motorboat and canoes.
Wow.
And I went out in a canoe with someone, and it was cold. It's cold at night here, right?
Yes.
And I had on probably a sweatshirt and whatever. I had all my clothes on, and somehow because we were drunk, we tipped the canoe. And I had to pull it into shore and come in. Yeah, I mean,
that's my biggest fear with canoeing. Just having a tip.
Yeah,
and I don't mind water. Like I can swim.
And
everything. But there's something about being out and then having a canoe tip. I mostly just don't want to mess up my hair and makeup. I think.
I totally get
what
that.
it is.
Yeah. I mean, back then I didn't care. I didn't. Yeah. Back then I had practically a buzz cut. My mother did not.
Did you have the mushroom cut?
Listen to this podcast. Yeah, no, not a mushroom cut. Just super kind of mini me butch haircut. My mom's a lesbian and she's so not into hair and makeup and clothes.
Really?
Yeah, she has no idea how she gave birth to me.
Hilarious.
And so I literally had my entire childhood this they would use the clippers in the back. For my hair. That's how short it was.
Oh man, I want to see pictures of this.
Yeah, it was
I rocked the mushroom cut for a long time.
Really? The mushroom cut?
Mushroom cuts, bowl cuts, always short hair. I have a theory that because of that, I became such a girly woman.
Maybe
and
that's why I'm like this.
I mean, it could be because for me, it's my hair's pretty long now. I've been working on growing it out. I've always wanted really long diva hair.
Me too.
Yeah. And it's because I think when I was a little girl, I was always wanting to be a little more feminine and they made me boyish.
Yes. Yeah, you weren't raised by lesbians.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I thought mine was
parents
for
from
that
Anna
reason.
Ganesh, so.
Okay, that's the same thing.
Yeah. My mom was I think she just wanted us to be practical, was her thing.
Okay, that makes sense. And probably
Yeah.
she was busy and
Yeah.
she was practical and she was like, okay, I don't have time for this like braids bullshit. And,
I did have to wear dresses like to church events and stuff.
right.
And I remember hating it.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting thing about it. Like, I think I just want the long hair, maybe. But I hated being put in dresses. Maybe it's because I just didn't like what the dresses looked like. There's a classic picture of me in, like, this, like, kind of old-timey dress. And I'm just like... like, most of the pictures from my childhood, I'm just like... so unhappy. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I hate when people post, like... oh, look how cute and sunshiny I was as a kid. I'm like, I can't post those because there's not a lot of them.
Oh, I remember I hated my teeth, so I'd always smile like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh my God, like, why do you hate your teeth? Like,
You have nice teeth.
well, thank you. I don't know why I hated my teeth, but I did.
That, oh man, like
Yeah.
just like puberty age insecurities
Yeah.
are real.
Yeah,
They're real.
really real.
But I feel like they weren't as real as it. My 30s is worse.
Well, I was just about to say,
Yeah,
and then for women, they just keep going and going and
Yeah, it's just-
going.
It's just different levels of hating ourselves.
Yep, totally different levels.
I feel like you're like, I don't know how you, like, how old are you? Can we say?
That's interesting because I don't talk about my age.
You don't?
No.
I have actually no idea how old you are. I
Yeah,
can't even pinpoint
A lot
it.
of people don't know how old I am. And the reason is because a few things. I realized very early on that people are very judgmental of women.
Yep.
And I lived in Asia for a few years, and they have this saying, women are like Christmas cakes. After the 25th, nobody wants them.
Oh.
And I became really like conscious of my age. I know, isn't that gross?
That is disgusting.
It's gross. And it's
But it makes sense because, well, I mean, a lot of the, sorry, where did you say you lived again? Was it?
I lived in Korea and Japan.
Okay. So, like, that whole, like, especially Korean skincare, like, the reason Korean skincare is so sought after is because, like, they're obsessed with looking young. Obsessed with it. I mean, like, a Korean skincare routine is 12 steps.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah. So I kind of became really affected by that, and I was
That's
like,
fair.
I just don't tell people my age, and I feel like women, not just in Asia but everywhere, is we have this. There's a stigma for women. Like once. I mean, I'm not fucking 60, right?
No.
But there is a stigma to women. Once you get to be of a certain age, they're like, after the 25th, nobody wants you. So, and the other thing is that I feel like in comedy, it's really, it's like kind of a young person's game.
Yeah.
And,
especially for males.
Yeah.
I
I'd
actually
say for both.
I would say for both, but I would, like, from my perspective, I like hearing from older comedians more because they got more fucking life stories to speak from.
Yeah.
I would rather hear someone who's older, I think.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think it's
I mean,
stupid.
I know there's tons of comedians of different age ranges, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that it's just easier to like keep that under wraps,
right,
and leave people guessing.
Yes,
and just do my own thing.
And also, like, who cares? Because you're putting yourself out there, and you should be judged on your comedy.
That's what I want to be
talent
judged on,
rather than your age.
Exactly, I want to be judged on my talent
because you'd be facing two things: the age and the fact that you're a woman, which we don't talk about a lot, but like. How many times do women comedians hear, you were pretty funny for a woman?
Yes.
And I don't normally like female comedians.
Yes.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that not from the audience per se, but I've had experiences where I know it's because I'm a woman. Like, for example, I've walked on the stage and I've heard guys say things like, oh, now we're talking. Now I like this.
Oh, like now you got me. You finally impressed me.
Or no. As I'm walking on the stage, I've heard people say like that, as in like, oh, here comes someone that I could bang or something like that. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
And I'm like, okay, I'm not here. I'm not here to have sex with you. I'm here to make you laugh.
Yeah.
And I kind of ignore that. But I've had a lot of experiences like that.
Interesting.
And I've had I've had other things like that happen.
I always wonder about that because I've listened to a lot of podcasts with female comedian hosts, and a lot of them talk about how they don't get hit on as much as like a male comedian would.
I never get hit on.
You get kind of heckled-ish?
Yes, I get kind of, like gross comments.
Right. So it's not like they're approaching you after the show.
No.
It's usually when you're on stage.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And it just makes me uncomfortable. So I just try not to focus on anything like that. I mean, I like to look good.
Of course.
But I just try not to.
I feel like you're the type though that probably wouldn't take any shit if that happened.
It depends. Like, I am so new in comedy that a lot of times when stuff like that happens, I'm a deer in the headlights.
Really?
And I'm just like, I'm just here to do my jokes. What do I say now? You know?
That's interesting because like I've seen you a handful of times. I would say probably at least 4, maybe. And I feel like you're a ballsy comedian.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But you know what? I feel like a lot of that is smoke and mirrors.
Really? Well, tell me about that because that's so fascinating to me. And this is why I love sitting down and talking to comedians because it's so interesting how performative it is and how there's like a little bit of a wall there. Versus when you're talking to them like this and you're getting to know like the insecurities that go behind it and like the inside processes.
Right.
Because when I see people on stage, like I truly see confidence and I see stage presence and I see all those things.
Okay,
but
working,
every single comedian, they're the most insecure people ever.
Oh my God. Yeah. I would say like I am very insecure and I have a lot of like self-doubt and there's many nights where I'm like, I don't want to do this, and then I'm like, well, you're doing this for a reason. Go. Like, this is at home when I'm at home and I'm getting ready and I'm like, I don't want to go. Oh my God, this is gonna be awful. Nobody's gonna find me funny. I'm not funny. And then I'm like, just go, just don't be stupid. You do this for a reason, because you want to be loved. and so I just go and
I feel that though because I mean even recording podcasts, it's kind of the same thing. There's a level of being on, and sometimes you have to pump yourself up, to do it, And I mean, I'm not getting up on a stage in front of people. Like I just can't imagine, like being. Even having a really bad day or going through something emotionally or dealing with some life shit and then having to pump yourself up to go on stage, even if it is for 5 minutes to make people laugh. Like that's a lot to do.
Yeah. And I love doing it. And when it goes well, it is the best feeling ever.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of like insecurities because it is very vulnerable. You put yourself out there.
It's crazy.
And you're like, this is me. And I'm trying to show more of me. Like, again, this is like year 2.5.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm still trying to find out who I am.
You're still finding your comedy voice.
Yeah. And so... yeah, I just find that you're very vulnerable up there. Just like, this is who I am. Like, please find it funny.
Right.
And
this is who I am, and I'm hoping to make you laugh from it.
Yes.
Like.
Yeah, and so that's a really vulnerable place to be. And if people don't laugh, you're like, okay, I am just a piece of shit. Okay, I'm just gonna go now, right?
See, this is my thing. Like, I hear from a lot of people, and I usually ask people like how they started doing it. And how they kept doing it. And so many people will say things like, oh, like my first couple shows were terrible and then I stopped for a long time.
Oh my God, that's exactly
Is that what happened to you? And then you got back into it.
Yeah. I had a friend who tried to convince me to do comedy. And I don't do anything unless I pay for it. And so I was like, okay, you got a course. Can I do something? Can I learn something? And he was like, okay, yeah, I know somebody teaches a course. So I took this course. in comedy and how to write comedy. And at the end of it, there was like this, end of the course kind of gala event.
Ooh, was this in Toronto?
No, this was here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and so it does. I don't think it happens very often, but I took it and I did this night and I killed it. But it was filled with people who were there to support you.
Right.
And of course you're going to kill it because they're all like, you are awesome.
Encouraging environment.
Yeah.
Like, yes, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I did it maybe like 6 more times and I stunk.
Yeah.
Like I bombed every single time.
Right.
And it was awful. And I was like, you suck. What were you thinking? And I didn't do it for a year after that.
Wow.
And my friend, the one who originally got me into this, he was like, what are you doing? You're funny. Come on, stop it. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it again. And I've been going like 2.5 years since then.
Right. Consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been, it can be really hard.
That's the thing. I think, and the struggle that I'm running into, because I've been thinking about getting up there and doing it too.
You should.
And that's what I hear from everybody. Everybody says you should, but I've been going to mics for over a year consistently, just as an audience member and as someone who's seeking out guests and stuff. And I now think about comedy way too critically. I'm actually like, I have things, like I have what I think could be a set, but I'm looking at it and I'm going, oh, but like I heard so-and-so say this that I should do. And like I have too many voices in my head, but I also have tons of friends like you who are like, just go do it.
You should just do it.
Just do it.
That's the thing is like, I'm learning that the stuff, like you just bring stuff up there and try it and kind of work stuff out as you go up there, and you just try it and take it back and rewrite it and that sort of thing. And so even if you're not sure, you just go up and say it, and it just saying it helps kind of form what will become a real joke
eventually one day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing about it. Like I always, I'm at a lot of open mics, and a lot of times comics will say things like, oh, that was a new one, it didn't go so good, or oh, that was a new one, I'm glad it went well. And I often wonder how much of a chance you give jokes before you say it's just, there's nothing there.
I give it a few chances.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff that I've written. Like I tried to write stuff about my time in Asia, and it just never seemed to work. And there's great stuff in there.
Right.
But I can't quite get it to work. And I tried it a few times and I just let it go. And I think I'll revisit it.
Right.
But I will try things a few times, like maybe 3-4 times at an open mic, and just try to continue to like add to it or change it somehow.
Change it in ways that could, because I think, one thing that like my friend Andrew Vaughn tells me all the time, he's like, you just got to find the funny. Like, what's the funny? Like, what you experienced, like, to you must be funny because you experienced it, but where's the funny in it for other people to laugh at?
Exactly.
Because we all think our life is ridiculous.
Yes.
But, like, it's kind of about appealing to everybody else. That's the tricky part.
Finding that the essence, I think, of it, because, life is funny and crazy, but there's a difference between just talking to your friends and making... like and being funny with your friends, and then getting up on stage and being funny
and telling like a funny story.
Yeah,
like this is something that happened to me that was funny.
Right. And like there's stories, but then there's also like the joke, right? The setup and the punchline.
Exactly.
So,
and that's what I think it like really truly the essence of it has to be. Set up punchline.
Yeah. With all the tags.
Yeah. Yeah, that
which
you
is
can
really
change up
hard.
every now and then. I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if I can do it. I feel like my relationship with comedy is very, like, I kind of want to admire it from afar and like support it and help enrich it. But, but like,
try.
I don't know. We'll see. Like, I had people telling me that I should do, like, the next, like, Oasis Ladies Night.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yes.
Yeah. Because I love them.
You could be a special guest.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You should do it.
I don't know.
It's in December.
I know. It's just so nerve-wracking. Like, I'd probably literally puke.
That could be very funny if you did it on stage.
If I do it on stage.
Yeah. I was like, oh, my God. Look at that.
Yeah, like
cute.
this is terrifying.
That is awesome.
Blah. Have you? So, like, what was your first show? Like you said that you did really well. What was the first show like?
It was at Brewster's in Bedford, and there was a whole bunch of people. Like, the place was packed with like friends and coworkers, and because everybody brought all their friends and relatives and coworkers, and there was probably about 10 comedians or people. That's the thing, is I never called myself a comedian for the longest time. I kind of I'll get to that in a second, but
yeah,
because otherwise I'll digress. So back, like, that show was really it was really great. Like, I felt like when I got off stage that I was like, it was the biggest adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It was like, I was almost like I was high.
Yeah.
You know? And I was just like, wow, I want to feel this all the time.
Yeah, it's like a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I didn't feel it for the next like 6 times.
But in a way, that's good, because it's giving you the tough skin to keep going.
Yeah. And
despite having the bad shows.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I have this really great friend who's like my comedy mentor from Boston.
Ooh.
His name is JJ Jones. He's super funny.
Awesome.
And he is always like telling me like giving me advice. And one of the things, like, after one of my bombs, because there's been many, he's like, you want the bombs. When you just do terrible, it's the best learning experience. So like, once you finish that and you get home, like, think about it. Like, what did you learn from it?
Yeah.
And then take that and improve yourself.
Exactly.
And it makes the bombing easier. I mean, it still hurts, but it's not as excruciating as it once was.
Because as long as you learn from it, it's only going to make you better.
Yeah.
And unless you're someone who just isn't aware of the bomb and just blames the crowd or blames
like that guy from American Idol. What was his name? Shebang. They called him Shebang or something.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
guy. This I think he was a Chinese guy who like thought he was like amazing, and he was absolutely atrocious. Yeah, like him.
Yeah, pretty
who
much.
has no self-awareness.
No self-awareness at all.
Yeah.
And it's everyone tells me too, they're like, your first set, you expect that no one will laugh.
Unless you bring like 15 of your friends and they're all going to be sweet and they're going to laugh their asses off.
And that's always kind of what I think. And my kind of take on it is like, if I ever did a show, I'd maybe tell like 2 friends to come.
Yeah.
But other than that, I want people like you. I want people like Kirsten. I want my comedy friends there, because at least if they're laughing, because comedians are hard to make laugh.
Oh my God, I am the worst person. I will not laugh at anything.
Good, I want you there. I want you there to hear it and tell me that it wasn't good.
But you know what? Even if it isn't good, you're still so brave to get up there.
Get up to do it.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that. Like, even when I see a shebang person, up there, I will still give them props for having done it.
It's like a bad karaoke singer who just
they're
loves
good
to
too.
sing.
Yes.
They just love what they're doing.
Yeah.
They suck at it, but they love the
song. But you can appreciate their enthusiasm,
100%. And also, too, like, I see a lot of sets where I'm like, I didn't laugh at anything, but there's things that there's something there.
Yeah.
Whether that's like a stage presence or maybe there's some material there that they just need to flesh out a bit more.
Yeah.
You're never going to be perfect right away.
God, no. I've never seen, getting back to that, I've never seen an actual shebang on stage.
Yeah.
Like, I've always seen what you're talking about, like someone who's new and like kind of like, like me, I'm new and I make lots of mistakes and I, don't have great nights, but, when I watch new people, there's always something that you can appreciate.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's some cases where there's nothing.
There's
definitely some cases.
A shebang. I don't know. I'm looking for the shebangs because they're fucking hilarious.
Oh, I can tell you some.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe when we get off camera, you can tell me a few.
Yeah, I think that there's also so much to be learned, especially new people starting off in comedy, as etiquette.
Oh, yeah. I do see
and
that.
just how to handle yourself
Yeah.
in certain situations.
I've probably broken a ton of like, holy
Broken?
shit, I don't
Broken?
think I can have
Broken?
another. No
Broken?
more wine for you.
It's funny because
Breaking.
you said it and I totally understood you. I speak broken language too, yeah.
Yeah, I've probably broken like a ton of rules.
But I mean, that's okay. Like, I mean, I just think you just gotta not be a dick. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's the main
But
rule.
that's in life. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Just be a good person.
Be a good person.
I always used to teach my students because I was in the classroom for 13 years. Like, treat others as you would treat yourself.
It's such a simple
Unless you
rule,
hate
but
yourself,
it's so true.
then don't.
Yeah.
Then don't treat others that way.
Then treat them like you might love yourself a bit. What ages did you teach?
In Asia, I taught primarily junior high, and then in Chicago, I taught grades 3 and 4. Yeah.
Which did you prefer? Because junior high, you got those puberty hormones going
Well,
on.
in Japan and Korea, like the kids are so well behaved. It's not a big deal. Like junior high was easy. But I prefer grades 3 and 4 because they still. I mean, I like them both. But if I were to teach junior high here, I would hate it because they're just miserable and they hate you. They hate everything. So I prefer the lower elementary grades. But in Chicago, grades 3 and 4 they're streetwise kids.
Right.
I had a teacher what was she teaching? She was teaching grade primary, I think it was. And she was a large African-American woman who didn't take shit off of anybody. Her name was Ms. Boyd. And she used to she used to hit the kids with a ruler.
Oh, God.
So she was like really badass. And one of the kids called her a fat fucking Teletubby.
Oh my God.
That was grade primary. So you can imagine what grade 3, 4 was like. Like I had a kid carve bitch in my door.
What?
Yeah. And one morning
like
I
right
came
out
up
of a
and I was
movie.
like, yes, I am. I am a bitch.
My
Don't
God.
fuck with me.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I have so much admiration for teachers because the amount of bullshit that they must put up with
Oh, yeah.
is insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
If you're not putting up with bullshit from the students, then you're putting up with bullshit from the parents. And I found the parents worse than the kids.
Oh,
Yeah. I had very good classroom management skills, but you can't manage parents as well
because it's
as
like
kids.
adults on adults kind of thing. And they're probably telling you how things should be done.
Yeah, and they're, they come with their own issues. They usually aren't, like in Chicago, for example, they usually didn't have successful academic careers themselves, so they don't really know what to do for their kids. And so I think they're intimidated to come to school and talk to the teacher because they don't feel good about their own experiences.
Right.
So they come with an attitude and they've already got they kind of already have their backup.
They do, yeah.
And so they're annoyed and they're they're kind of like, well, I had a crappy school experience. My kid's not going to have a crappy school experience, but they don't know how to.
They don't know what that looks like.
They don't know how to help them and stuff. So yeah, I had a lot of angry parents. I had a parent run through school looking to either, I don't know if he was going to just beat me up or kill me. I wasn't sure which it was.
Well, either isn't good.
Yeah, I know, right?
Holy shit.
Good times.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Because I told his partner, his wife, that their son had to wear his school uniform. And so I kept track of who wore the school uniform, who did their homework and all that kind of crap. And I would give out little awards at the end of the month for people who did their homework and all this stuff. And I said to them a few times, he really should be wearing his uniform and blah, blah, blah. And the last time I said, he really needs to wear his uniform, they lost it. And that's when he was running through the school and I had to hide in the basement.
That's insane. Oh my God. People are messed up. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Do you miss that world?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. You miss the chaos.
Yeah.
Now you're just in a different type of chaos, which is comedy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I think I always thought about trying comedy when I lived in Chicago, but I was so busy because if you want to be a good teacher, like I found like you had to really devote a lot of your time to being a good teacher, and that required like evenings and weekends and
Right.
you know, and when I wasn't teaching or preparing for teaching, I was getting drunk to deal with the stress. So there wasn't a lot of time for comedy.
Right.
So I never tried it, but I wish I had.
What was the inspiration to start trying that? When did that?
It was absolutely that coworker of mine,
Just
who's also
encouraging you.
also a comedian, Kevin McDougall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
he kept saying, "You're funny. Why don't you try this?"
And so it took some nudging.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of comedy growing up? And
I loved comedy. I've
Yeah.
always loved comedy.
who are your like faves or like influences?
I love, Nikki Payne.
Yes.
I like Erica Sigurdsson. I like Kathy Griffin. I saw her once in live, and she was fantastic.
So
I
funny.
think she got a really bum rap from that whole political satire thing that she did. It was satire.
That was bullshit.
Oh,
The
it
way
was
that she was
bullshit.
treated. Yeah.
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 Crazy. I like oh my gosh, what is his name? Is it I always screw up his name. I know his last name is Sagan. David Sagan.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, he's really funny. Derek Sagan. Derek
Oh,
Sagan.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry if you're listening and watching. We'll edit that.
And I don't know who else. There's lots. I mean, old school like Eddie Murphy and yeah.
Yeah, all the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys.
So that's so like interesting to me. Just making the decision to try and do it.
David Chappelle.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that's
I love Chappelle.
I've actually never watched any. I know. It's
Oh my
really-
God.
It's I know. I'm sorry. I got you. Like I have to do it.
Like I
At some point.
religiously watched his TV show, and then his most recent comedy special was amazing.
I keep hearing like mixed reviews about it.
I think I don't know who gave you the mixed reviews, but from my perspective is that I feel like people who are easily offended would not like it.
Oh, okay, I'll be fine then.
Because he really pushed the limits, and I love it when people push the limits.
And I noticed that about your comedy. There's some bits
you.
and pieces in there
Yeah.
that one could say, and it doesn't, but one could say it pushes some limits.
Yeah. I don't even, again, I don't.
I love it though.
Thank you. But I'm so new that I'm just writing, I'm just desperate for material. I'm just writing stuff. I don't even know what is the limits, what's not the limits. And I went to Ottawa and did some shows recently, and they hated one of my jokes, my child labor joke.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
They hated it?
Hated it. And I'm like, it's satire.
Yeah.
I don't truly think children should work,
No, yeah. Well,
Unless they're really good at it. Like if they're, then I'm just like, like that sweater
they make really
from
great
Taiwan
sweaters.
that I have. It's quality.
Again, it's a joke, people. Yeah, I think that's something a lot of people don't make that disconnection. Like
Yeah, like a lot of stuff that people say on stage is not.
It's not true. It's
They
usually
just-
exaggerated.
It's exaggerated.
Yeah, and it's them finding the funny in something dark or something.
That's right.
They found a funny part of it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I fucking love when comics do uncomfortable jokes because I love them and I just look around and I look around at all the uptight people peeing their pants. Like it's so fucking great. I love it.
You would have loved it in Ottawa because you would have heard a pin drop.
Holy shit.
And then I did one joke after that and it was crickets.
So what do you do when that happens?
Well, that's
When you don't get anything.
This is where I'm not quite experienced enough. Like it was embarrassing. I was just like I was in my head. I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
Something happened.
Well, I mean, because I always wonder, like, do you comment on it or do you just move on? Or
Yeah.
like I feel like I would be the type if that happened to me, like I when I get uncomfortable, I do choose to comment on things.
Yeah.
And I probably would try to say something and probably fuck it up entirely. Like,
sometimes I comment on it and sometimes I don't. It just depends. Again, I'm still getting comfortable on stage, and I feel like sometimes I have that deer in the headlights thing where I'm like, okay, I have only 30 seconds left and I'm halfway through this joke. Something went wrong. What went wrong? And I was just like, just finish. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Stay the course.
Yeah.
Stay the course.
Yeah. And then other times I make fun of people.
And I can tell you, anything like that is better than what I've seen some people do, which is freeze and pace.
Oh,
on stage.
Oh, that would
and
that would
look like they are just like, what do I say next? What do I say next? What do I say next?
Or get angry with the crowd. I think that's also the death knell to a set.
Incredibly awkward.
Yeah.
When comics do that, and I've been the audience member, and I also am friends with a lot of comedians, so I do see it from their perspective as well. But I hate it when comics do that.
It's
don't blame the crowd, or don't.
But you can make fun of a crowd in a funny way.
Yes.
But there's a difference between being, I think, angry and like it's obvious.
Yeah, there's a difference between making fun of, and blaming.
Yes. Yeah.
But finding that is, that's also hard.
Yeah, it is. And again, all those things I'm learning. It's incredible. The more I do this, the more I realize how little I know.
Right.
Like how much there is to learn.
Yeah.
Like I was at Kirsten Finch's house the other night. We were talking and writing about comedy, and
I would love to be a fly on the wall for that.
Oh my God, she's I
love Kirsten.
She's awesome.
Shout out to Kirsten.
And Alva was I don't know if you Alva.
I haven't met her yet.
She's amazing.
We're Facebook friends now, but I haven't met her yet.
She's awesome. So we were all just talking about comedy and writing comedy, and they have had so many more years of experience than me, and just listening to them talk about all of the different things you need to think of in terms of what kind of jokes you bring to what crowd, and what do you do when something goes wrong, like just everything.
So can I ask your opinion on something?
Okay, yes.
Because this is something that is heavily on my mind.
Okay, I think your eye makeup is perfect. If that's,
thank you so much.
If that's what you're gonna ask, I don't know.
I spent literally an hour doing it.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
But that wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
Okay.
But I think one thing that's stopping me from getting up on stage and trying it is having my material be very heavily focused on one particular subject, which is probably sex and relationships.
Yeah.
And I get a mixed bag of people telling me different things. I get female comics saying, fuck it, who cares? I get male comics saying, or male comics and friends, influences in my life saying, nah, don't do that. Be more well-rounded. Have some material about other things too, because you don't want to be the woman who's just talking about sex. And then I have other people who's just like, who cares? It's your first set. Just do it and you'll get more jokes later.
Okay, so I am of the camp, like I'm in the camp that thinks just do it, because you just do it. Like you only have so much material when you first start. You won't have a lot of material. Just do what you have. And the sex stuff is always like low-hanging fruit, so it's easy.
It's low-hanging fruit.
So it's easy. And hey, I am a dirty comic. I talk about all kinds of dirty stuff, so I get it.
And I love it. And I think it's because I'm so heavily influenced by that kind of comedy. That's the kind of stuff that really makes me laugh.
Right.
And applies to my life.
Right.
Like I had a situation at the hospital.
I can't wait to hear this.
I have to go to the hospital for my pap test.
Yes.
Because I have a cervix that is tilted.
Yep.
And they really got to get up in there and
get in there
and
get at
and
it.
Because I've been riddled with HPV and have had things done to it, I have to get my test done there for like a certain amount of time, and then it's a long history. But this one woman doctor,
we're getting up close and personal here.
We're getting up close and personal. This one woman doctor fingered me so deeply that I was like, I don't think any man's ever done this.
That's lady business.
She got right up in there, and like I was just like, I want to find a joke about this. But I also don't want to be. There's a joke in there somewhere, just about the idea of like
that's not
what we put
sexual.
Up with us. Thank you. That's kind of what I'm saying too.
Thing.
Yeah, but it is related to.
It is
cervix. I have so much stuff about my vagina because I've just been on a journey with it.
Yeah.
That sounds cheesy as fuck, but I've been on a motherfucking journey. It's a huge part of my life, and I pull from personal things. Like I wouldn't be the type of comic that could go up there and do jokes that
like
aren't
political
about my life.
Stuff.
No, Like the comics that influence me are like the Whitney Cummings, the Amy Schumer, the, you know, Nikki Glaser. Like, that's what I gravitate towards. Mind you, like, I don't want to be anything like them. I do think you need to find your own voice and stuff. But so much of my jokes that I have that could ever be a set is heavily focused on sex and vaginas. And I often get in my head and go, you need to write some other things, or you need to have at least a couple other jokes in there that aren't focused on womanhood.
Yeah, but that's okay. I think that's okay. I think that's what your experience is, and you've written those jokes. And I think once you get up there, you will find inspiration from other things.
And I think, too, it's about me looking at it and going, okay, well, what could make this funny to a guy? So this is a joke about being a woman.
Well, guys talk about their dicks for 10 minutes, so why do you care?
This is the thing. Like, and I laugh at those jokes.
Yes.
But guys don't necessarily laugh at...
But just do it. Yes, just do it. And then
I should.
I think, and then you'll find more material. If you like doing it and you want to do it more, then you will continue to write, and you will find inspiration in other things.
Fair enough. And I think that that's the majority of people. Yeah. I think it's just the other people that get in my head.
Yeah.
That make me feel like, oh man, I don't want to be like have that pinned on me too. You know, like the sex comic.
I think, I know, but I think it's easy. Like my first, like, and I still talk about sexual stuff. Like I talk about lasering lady parts, and I talk about, you know, orgies and stuff. And, I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters either.
It's whatever.
It's life.
It's whatever inspires you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You just gotta find the funny in it.
Yeah. And I've always just been I've always had a kind of dirty mind. Like I have a mind of like a 12-year-old.
Oh my God, me too.
Sociopath.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I put a dirty spin on everything.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think I think you should just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
Yeah.
I always just like, especially asking female comics this, because I often wonder if it's a challenge that women face. I don't know.
Well, it is.
It feels like it's much more heavily criticized.
Yes, I think it is, because I did a set somewheres, and again I talked about orgies, but I wasn't super explicit. I said dicks twice, and then I talked. And then I know, and then I talked about my dog.
Yeah, you got a lot
some
lots
doggy
of dog jokes. Yeah.
And then I talked about like the child labor thing and the lasered lady parts and that sort of thing, and the host came up and he was like, "Oh, Adrienne Gabrielle, she is funny. Well, she is dirty. She is dirty." And I was like, "Really? Was I really that dirty? I talked about my dog for 3/4 of the set." But like, I think if women talk about anything like their vaginas, anything sexual or perceived to be sexual, then you're immediately a dirty comic. But like guys, they can talk about their dicks,
and that's the thing when it's put back on them. Like it's not the same.
For them. It's not, and I think it's just, I don't know. I think I asked someone about this, and they're like, "Well, it's just guys always." I don't know. Guys always talk about their dicks, maybe in real life too, but like girls don't talk about that.
Well, we aren't encouraged to.
Yeah, certainly.
I think that's changing a bit, but I think growing up generationally, like, you know, talking about masturbation, like it was always very taboo for me.
Right.
Like I'm 32. It's only been within probably the last 7 years or so that I think it's become more okay to talk about.
So maybe that's why it's like, you know, it's like kind of like titillating when a woman does it, and so that you immediately get branded as a dirty comic. Right. But again, I think I think those jokes are easy to come up with initially. Yeah. And there's no harm in that. You should just try it.
You should just try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just insane. So Adrienne, are you a single lady?
I am a single lady.
Oh, single ladies. Oh, the single ladies. What's your journey with that been like? Have you been single for long?
Yeah. I've been single since 2014.
Okay. Yeah. About the same. Well, yeah, me would be 2013. So we were about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
What are you, because you are, we talked about before the mics came on and talked about how, you know, we work, like you work, we both work full time, kind of 9 to 5 jobs. You also work out, you do comedy, like you have a lot going on in your day. Mm-hmm. Are you
like actively searching?
Yeah, well, like, or is it something that you want? Because I think you can want it, but also recognize like it's not the right time for me, or do you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at, where I'm like, I'll always want it, but can it happen? I don't know.
I don't like. I'm sure. I mean, I guess I'm open to it, but like online dating and it's just, I find it so gross.
It is.
And depressing that I gave up on that long ago. So if it happens, it happens.
But you found a contentness in life where it's not an overwhelming sense of doom.
Right. Yeah, sense of doom. That's a good way to put it.
Because that's how it feels for me. Because I think like it's just like I do really want it.
Yes.
But I also recognize that I'm at a place where it's not the right time.
Right.
I'm working a lot.
Right.
Trying to figure out my life.
Yeah.
And I recognize that that's not always hot. Going on a date with a girl who's like, I don't know what's going on. Like that's not how, like guys probably want someone with their shit together, and I definitely don't have my shit together. But like it is, I do get lonely. Do you ever get lonely?
I do get lonely.
Because you live alone, you have a house.
Yeah. And I have a doggy.
Which helps.
Although she's not terribly cuddly. So like, like I got this dog for like companionship and love. And that's probably why I started doing comedy. I was like, this bitch is not giving me what I need. My needs are not being met. So I'm going to try comedy. Yeah. So, I mean, I get lonely, but, I guess, you just, dating sucks.
It really does. So I've started, you mentioned online dating. I'm like, I have not used the apps in a long time. I heavily use them in the summer. But I've recently started doing these wing woman workshops put on by my friend Geneva. Shout out Geneva. She's a matchmaker here in the city. She does these things called wing woman workshops where it's essentially just women get together and talk, and it's kind of like group therapy.
Oh my goodness.
But it's women of all ages.
Yes.
So like I'm in there, I'm 32. There's women who are like, you know, in their 50s, 60s who've been divorced and are looking to get back out there.
Oh my God. Can you imagine how horrid that would be? You think you got life under control and you've got this path, right? And then your husband's like, no, I'm done. And you're like 55, 60.
And that's the thing. It's crazy.
That'd be awful.
A lot of the women there are older. And they're just like, I just refuse to be unhappy and I want to meet someone and I want to get out there. And a lot of them say like, or the older ones anyway, are like, I'm having more fun than ever. I just want someone to come along for the ride with me. And I'm like, my God, do I ever want to get to that point where it's like a bonus? Where it's a bonus and not a requirement in my mind.
Like a need. Yeah. Like you're needy. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel, because I feel like I just haven't truly experienced, like, have you had a lot of boyfriends in your past?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like long term or short term?
Some long term, some short term, some buried in the backyard. Just depends on what happened.
I don't know why I wasn't expecting that.
Don't fuck with me.
That's so great. Wow. But you've been like since 2014, so yeah, okay. Oh man, I don't know. Like I just feel like I've had 2 boyfriends, and like neither of them seemed. Like looking back, I'm like, was that love? Like, did I have?
know, right?
You know what I mean? And it just makes me feel sad sometimes that I don't get to experience the the picture of the flowers and be like, look who brought me flowers just because it's Wednesday. Like,
but I think that's kind of constructed by
social media.
100%. Right? I think
100%.
That's what can lead to depression and anxiety is like,
that gets a ding.
Seeing, oh my God, it's my first ding.
I should have been dinging it. Let's get more Prosecco up in here. I have a family dinner after this, so I think it's probably a good call to get a little buzz.
You don't want wine from a Thai restaurant. Fuck that. They don't have good quality wine. They don't have gancha.
They don't.
No.
But it is, yeah, social media is a bitch, and I hate it. And I hate that I'm so affected by seeing happy couples and get sad by it. And I don't want to feel this way. I do, but I don't know how to get rid of it.
Right? But it's like you have to go off grid.
I think that that's 100% probably true. And also developing, like, kind of working on your relationships. Like, for me, it's like working on my relationships with, like, other women. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've been so busy lately that friendships have been falling.
Yeah, everybody's very busy.
Yeah.
People get busy. Life is busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is so busy.
It really is. And I think, yeah, I guess you can look at social media, but you have to remember that I feel 90% of it is a lie. It's all constructed.
Yeah.
And so
even engagement photos.
Oh God,
like,
I fucking can't stand shit like that.
And like, it just doesn't seem natural.
Yeah. Or those like baby reveal ones.
Like my favorite couples are the ones that I hang out with, and they're like, we're engaged, and I'm like, I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Do you even care what other people think? Oh wait, you actually just love each other and like want to do your thing,
right? You didn't have to like video the whole engagement. Like
love
be
that.
in the moment. Don't video it. Like,
mind you, I would be the person to post. I hate the self-awareness of being like, I hate the person that I want to be.
That's great. I love that. That you should write that down. I hate the person I want to be.
Like, it's just this weird jealousy thing, and I hate it. And I hate the loneliness, and I'm trying to figure out a way to combat that without needing a man.
Alcohol.
Oh, and I do a lot of that.
Okay.
But I feel like that can
kittens.
Also go the
you
other
have
way.
Kittens.
I do have a cat, and I've thought about getting another one.
Then you.
But
I
want a younger cat,
lady,
and I want it to be male.
Okay.
So bring some male energy in
here.
Yeah. And have
like
it need
feng
me.
shui.
Yes.
Get some male energy in here.
Because your dog, she's a girl, right?
Yeah.
Have you thought about getting another dog?
I have, but I feel like Tula is a one dog kind of gal. One owner. What am I trying to say?
One. She wants to be the only child.
She's a solo. Yeah, she's a solo dog.
Solo dog.
And she would be really put out if I got another dog. Like,
you think?
Oh God, really put out. She hates all mammals. Yeah, all mammals. Like, she will attack anything. She even like has started. Like, she used to like people, and now she gets angry at people sometimes too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because Adrienne was going to bring Tula, and I got excited at the idea of it at first, and then I was like, oh, well, if Mindy comes out, which she doesn't a lot, but if she does, and there's a moment, that would be stressful for both of us.
Yeah, it really would. It would be kind of embarrassing. That would be an edit for sure. Cause
I do want to meet her next time you bring her, though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think, the first time you like scout out the place and you're like, okay, well, maybe Tula could handle this.
Right.
But
does she wander, like if you were to let her out, like would she wander around a bit?
She would like go like searching for food.
Oh,
like she's highly food motivated.
Ooh, me
she's
too.
not love motivated.
Oh, not me. I'm food motivated and love motivated.
Yeah, me too. I love both.
I love
definitely.
that. I love people
to be
loving
loved.
me. Me too.
I love food too.
Oh, I'm such a food. Do you have any vices with food? Is there any like thing that you partake in that isn't the best for you?
Oh God,
you're like obsessed with?
Well, just everything. Food in general. I will eat too much of everything. Like, I love Korean food.
But you work out.
I work out.
You said that you work out every morning at 5:30.
Yeah, well, not every morning. I work out 3 mornings a week, and then I also do like, I go walking and I do yoga and I play tennis and I go biking and.
Fuck.
Still though, I eat a lot.
Yeah.
I love to eat.
Yeah, I love food too.
And alcohol.
But I'm also not. I love to eat, but I'm not a foodie.
Oh, I'm a huge foodie. I'm a snob.
Okay. So you just love food overall. I like the feeling food gives me, and that's about it.
Oh, really?
Like I love junk food.
Yeah.
And food that tastes good. That's cheap and easy and quick. Like I eat for fuel, not for fun. That's what I kind of like.
I live to eat.
That's the thing.
I live to eat.
I want to change that though, because there was a time in my life, probably like in my 20s, where us girlfriends would always go out for dinner. We don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore with my friends.
Well, if you'd like to go out for dinner anytime, I love to eat out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a running list of restaurants that I read about that I want to try. And then I have a list of restaurants that I love that I go to when I want something guaranteed delicious.
What are those restaurants? Or like, what are your faves?
I love Truly Tasty, 9+9, Jin Chang.
Oh, okay.
Pho on the Dartmouth side. I like Gio's if I want to go super fancy.
Ooh, bitch, that is fancy.
It's pretty fancy. Yeah. I've been told that I'm a little bougie.
Well, I mean,
That's a possibility.
Prosecco, girl.
Oh, cheers.
There's nothing wrong with that. Listen,
Yeah.
if you're sustaining yourself, getting your bills paid, and then you can still do those things, fucking do it.
Yeah. So like 3/4 of those were like Asian food. I'm huge into Asian food.
So what was your time in Korea and Japan like?
It was life-changing.
Yeah.
Life-changing. I went over there like a very nervous, like scared of everything, super uptight. I mean, I am all those things still to a degree, but like
I don't see that at all. No, that's so crazy.
Yeah, no, I was like uber all those things.
Yeah.
And I like for like I couldn't have my food touching, like the different types of food touching each other, and I couldn't stand dirt. Like I went through this. I just told my cousin this the other day. I went through this phase where I thought like all the canned goods in my house had botulism, and like I would open it and I'd be like, this one's bad too, and I'd throw it out. Like that's how crazy I was.
Little OCD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you generally OCD?
Oh, yeah. I would say I have some. I've never been diagnosed with with OCD, but I'm pretty sure there's
some tendencies there.
A few tendencies there. So when I went to Asia and like it like fixed everything really quick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very like I don't like it was very dirty. In Korea, they recycled the food. Like if you went there, they give you side dishes to eat, right? And if you didn't finish your kimchi, for example, they would take that kimchi and put it back in the container of kimchi to give to someone else. And the first time I saw that, I was
You're like, what am I eating?
I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just saw that. And then I just got over it really quick. I was like, you know what? Everybody lives differently.
Right.
Everybody has different practices. I haven't died yet. I didn't get food poisoning once in Asia,
wow,
and I lived there for 3 years.
Really? That's shocking to me because
Yeah.
I haven't really traveled much outside of North America, but I have gone to Mexico a couple times.
Yeah.
Got sick every time.
Yeah, no. I also think that like living in an area like that really boosts your immune system.
Yeah.
I almost said immune.
Immune. Was it a huge culture shock too? Like
huge culture shock.
Yeah.
And I was very lonely. In Japan, I spent a lot of time by myself, and I would go I could go maybe a week, 2 weeks without an actual real conversation, like a real English conversation. So it really changed me. I really lived inside my head a lot.
Damn.
And became really accustomed to being alone.
Ooh.
But I'm still very needy. Okay.
But
I still want to be loved.
Would you say that helped with loneliness? And
No, I don't think so. No, but it did help. It really did help with a lot of my OCD type things. I used to be like super anal retentive clean, like crazy clean.
Oh, okay.
Like every week I had to clean every part, like my entire apartment, bathroom, floors, kitchen. And now, I'm just not like that.
You're a little more laid back.
Very much more laid back.
It kind of helped you let go a bit.
A little.
Yeah.
Now, all my friends that listen to this might not agree, but I really do. It did change me. And it really opened my world view, that, because growing up, it's changing here a lot recently in the past 10 years. But growing up, it was very white here. Very white.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you kind of have this very narrow view of the world. And then
100%.
moving to Asia really
And you
opened
didn't
that
just
up.
visit there, like you lived there.
Yeah, there's a difference, I think, between visiting a place
Yeah.
and living in a place.
Yeah.
And having to respect other cultures and like understand like what they like, for example, like meal times or greetings or like, you know, gift giving, you know, things
Right.
like that. All those things like
And how they
social
think.
graces. And,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Transportation, how like, you know, when you go to take a train or a subway, what's the etiquette involved with all of those things?
That's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Did you do a lot of research before you went?
I did. I think that helped a lot.
Yeah.
But you learn very quickly to be very observant. You spend
Right.
a lot of time watching people
That's so
and
fascinating.
learning, following their cues.
Because my dream is to eventually go to Greece by myself.
Yes.
Which is insane because I'm very much an extrovert. I love people. I love being around people. Living alone even is kind of a challenge because I do get lonely. But there's something about the idea of like going somewhere alone as a woman and like just living for you for a little bit. That's so appealing to me.
Yeah.
And I want to get to a point where like I'm financially good that I can say I'm taking 2 months off and I'm going to Greece.
Oh my God, that would be so fantastic. I've traveled by
You know?
myself and it's wonderful.
And it's also like I think conquering my fears too,
Yeah.
because I'm very anxious. I rely a lot on people. So, you know, like if I'm out on a new spot, like I'll be texting my friends, like, what do I do here? What do I like? And there's something about the idea of just taking your independence in your own hands and just figuring it out.
Yeah.
You just friggin' figure it out and you go and you eat good meals. You go to restaurants alone.
Yeah.
Like you really, truly actually
Do you
are
eat
just
alone
like,
now?
I mean, I've gotten better at being like, there's a restaurant I want to go to, and I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go.
That's what I do. I just do it.
Because I used to rely heavily on like asking friends and like waiting around for friends to come with me.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. Why aren't I living?
Yes, exactly.
You know, like why aren't I just? You know, I used to not go to the movies alone.
I will go to movies alone. Although one time I went to a movie alone and a very nice man sat 2 seats over from me and had his hands underneath his coat the whole time.
No!
Yeah.
Shut up!
Yeah, but I was like,
Shut up!
this was when I was like about like 24 and I was so mortified. I didn't know what to do and I just sat there and like was just like, okay, well, he's not sitting next to me, so
My God.
yeah. And it was weird because it wasn't like a sexy movie. It wasn't a movie where like, you know, like you'd think someone would do that. It was like, I don't even remember the movie, but it wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't a sexy movie.
Gotta wonder, like, what's going on in his life that he goes to the movie theater to do that?
I know, right?
Like, is he, like, just never alone otherwise?
I don't know. Or maybe that he just gets off on doing that in public and nobody knows.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, to each their own, but that's so creepy.
Yeah, well, it was creepy for me.
Yeah, don't do
Yeah.
it in front of other people. That's
Yeah.
a little messed up. But yeah, no, that's so how long were you in Korea, Japan?
So I was in Korea for 1 year and Japan for 2. And Japan is very different from Korea. So
Yeah.
just to clarify, Korea was very dirty and like people would, you know, like pee on the streets and poop on the streets. Like the kids would poop on the streets and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know about adults, but I saw a lot of kids pooping on the streets. And, you know, there was just a lot of like, there were outdoor markets. So there was a lot of like, you know, fruits and vegetables just like discarded and stuff like that. And,
Right.
and like just garbage. And people would drink, like men would go out after work and drink copious amounts of alcohol and then throw up. So there'd be throw up everywhere on the streets. But Japan was very, and Korea was, I loved Korea. It was fantastic. I know I'm painting it as a really.
Right. You're just being honest. But
Yeah,
what
like
you-
those were
yeah.
the kind of weird, gross, different things. But Korea was fantastic. It's my favorite cuisine. I love Korean food. I eat it all the time. The people were super kind and they just welcoming
Right.
and just wonderful. And just, yeah, and I traveled by myself and I felt completely safe. It was just wonderful.
Well, that's a good feeling because that's another anxiety
Yeah.
I have about traveling alone.
Yeah.
It's just not feeling
yeah,
safe.
no, you totally feel safe in many parts of the world. But but Japan was different in that it was much more kind of buttoned up, like a little more uptight, a little bit more organized, or more structured.
Yeah.
Like very like everything had its place, and
Right.
people were also, they were very welcoming and kind, and they would help a stranger in a second. But I always think of Korea as kind of, it was a little bit more like the Wild West
Right.
of Asia, where Japan was just a little bit more, buttoned up.
But
little more.
Like I picture like people in suits.
A little more. There were a lot of suits in Korea, but they would let loose in Japan too. A lot of men would go drinking after work, and it was kind of a cultural thing where they would go out and drink after work and socialize with their coworkers.
I hope my friend doesn't mind that I'm mentioning this, but I have a friend who's recently visited, and she offered to do an episode about this, and I was just kind of like, oh no, like let's just hang out off mic, like I don't want to like use your life as content kind of thing. But she had a crazy situation where her husband, she married a Japanese guy, like ended up cheating on her. And it was his boss buying him sex workers. And over there, I guess it's very common to be frowned upon if you turn down a situation like that. You could lose your job.
Was this happening in Japan or here?
Japan.
Wow.
And so she ended up divorcing him over in Japan, which I guess divorces in Japan are really easy, apparently.
Are they?
Very, like, quick, easy, just fill out a form.
Really?
Like, not that expensive, like, super easy to do. So
I don't think they were
she
very
got free of that
common.
situation. Good for
for her.
Yeah.
That would be pretty awful. to
Yeah,
find
it was
out.
crazy. She came and visited and, like, sat in my friend's living room and told us the whole story. And we were just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that's
holy
nutty.
fuck.
Yeah.
That's insane. She has a new boyfriend now who would never do that. So, but I guess it's part of...
It's a cultural thing.
It's a
I'm
cultural
sure.
thing.
The
unfortunately.
expectation. Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Unfortunate
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Can you imagine?
No.
And then having your husband be like, my boss bought me a sex worker and I couldn't say no.
Can't say no. No. Wouldn't want to offend.
I mean,
You wouldn't want to offend your boss. So you completely break your trust with your wife, but you didn't offend your boss.
I know, isn't that fucked? Well, that's the thing, is like loyalty. Like, I guess like over there, it's very like you need to be really loyal to your employer.
Yeah.
And so turning that down is seen as not loyal.
Like almost like career suicide, because they were like, they call themselves salarymen.
Yeah.
You know, they have this kind of like, I go to work, I spend a lot of time at work, I work my ass off, and then I come home late at night, I have my supper, my bath.
That is made by your wife.
Yeah. And then I have my bath that's poured by my wife.
Yeah.
And I go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I get up and do it all over again.
It's not a life I would want.
No.
At all. And then also it was interesting because I like Tokyo is kind of on my bucket list of places I'd want to see.
It's a fantastic city.
And then my friend Emily was like, most of Japan is not like that. Like Tokyo is its own world.
But the entire country of Japan is fascinating.
Fascinating, yeah. Beautiful too.
Gorgeous,
yeah.
And people, like I said, and it's so easy to get around. The people are so kind, and they would help you in a second if you were having problems.
I'd love to go. I mean,
Oh
there's so
my
many
God.
places I want to go. I just can't picture. I'm trying to make more money. I need to travel more. Like, I just can't. I want to do it so bad, but I look at people who travel and I'm like, how do you do it? How do you do it?
Well, I lived in Asia for 3 years, so it was easy, So
Because you had a job. You had a job.
Yeah, I had a
opportunity over
job there. I taught school over there. So, I went to Hong Kong, Macau, Thailand, the Philippines. I didn't make it to India. That was one of the places I really wanted to go to, and I missed out on that.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, and then my mother lives in Amsterdam.
Oh,
so,
cool.
So that makes it easy to go to Europe. So I've been to Europe like 10 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit of a traveler.
But just a bit. I hate
Travel bug.
flying, but I love to travel.
I fucking hate flying too.
Oh
Are
my
you just
God.
terrified of it?
Oh, yeah, I take copious amounts of Xanax. Like I'm just high as a kite. Like I don't remember large portions of the journey,
Yeah.
And but I get there.
Was it always bad, or did the traveling so much help at all with that?
I think it's when I realized that I could die.
Yeah.
And that it would be a horrible death, that I just like it just sent my anxiety through the roof.
See, would it be horrible though, or would it be quick?
It would be horrible for like two minutes while you're going down.
You would know.
And you
like,
would be
you
like,
would know that you were going to die.
Your life would flash before you multiple times. 2 minutes, like at least.
What do you think you would see if your life was flashing before your eyes?
Oh my God.
What a deep fucking question. But
I don't know. Like,
I often think about that. I'm like, who would I try to text right away? And like, who would
I don't know if you'd have time in those 2 minutes because
Maybe
you'd
not.
probably be spinning and flipping and hurtling and pissing your pants.
The idea of that is just insane to me.
It would be awful.
Right?
Awful.
There
Yeah.
was apparently
That's why I'm high when I fly.
I need to do that. I usually just
Xanax.
I usually just get a lot of gum and because my ears get really affected by planes.
Gum won't cut it for me.
No?
I need drugs.
Oh man.
Like I just can't fly with it.
Can you sleep on planes?
Yeah, because I'm high as a kite. Like that Xanax makes you sleepy. It really calms you down.
Yeah, that's what I would need to, for sure. Like I try to keep thinking. I have so much anxiety over planes. I would say planes and also cars. I'm pretty terrified of cars.
Yeah.
Like being in them, being around them. Like it's just really bad. And I keep trying to like manage that anxiety by going, well, what's worse? Never going to Greece like you want to.
Right.
Or the plane ride. Like you're going to have
Never
the FOMO.
going to Greece.
Never going to Greece. Like Greece is my number one. I would say like Italy is up there too. I would love to go to Italy. Like there's so many
Italy
places
is
I want to go.
gorgeous. I've been to Italy.
I just want the food.
I've not been to, oh my God, the food. I've not been to Greece, but I know people have been. And don't let the fear of flying stop you from going. Just get a prescription for Xanax.
I love that. That could go on a landscape
And it'll
photograph.
it'll all
Don't
be
let
better.
the fear of flying stop you. Just get some Xanax.
That's right. That could be a good ad for TV. I'll be the spokesperson.
Xanax should sponsor us.
Tiffany Haddish has Groupon. I've got Xanax.
Xanax. Is Xanax just literally like it just de-stresses you? Like
It's like a anti-anxiety drug.
I think
so
I
it just takes all your worries away.
I get it mixed up with Xantex, which is your stomach.
Yeah.
Because I take a lot of that for my stomach.
Yeah, no, this is just, it totally takes the edge off.
Yeah.
It's like Valium Light,
Ooh.
which is also a very good drug.
What was I gonna say? We talked about earlier being exhausted. Are you a stressed out person? in
Oh
general?
my God, stressed out. I am wound up tighter than I don't even know why. Like,
Are you?
Oh my God, I am so wound up tight. Again, Asia took a lot of the edge off, but I am still a very wound up tight person.
Well, you manage a lot, so you need to find a way to do all this and then do this crazy thing, which is comedy in the nighttime. And so how do you manage all the different energy levels? So you wake up and you work out 3 times a week. So you need to find energy to work out. Then you got to find the energy to go to work and do your job well.
Yeah.
And then you got to do the things that we all do in adult life, errands, cooking, like cleaning, all that. And then you do comedy. So these are like 1,000 energy pools.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck do you do it?
I try to take very good care of myself. I try to eat very well. I try to get, it doesn't happen. I try to get more than 6.5 hours of sleep every night.
It's a very precise number.
Yeah. I'm very
6.5.
precise. Well, because 7 and more is like considered a good night's sleep, but because I go to bed at 10:30 and usually it takes a while to fall asleep, and then I wake up between 4 and 5. It's not over 7. I know so I try to get 6.5 or more. Doesn't happen, and I just try to, and I exercise, which is a good de-stressor. I do, and I try to do yoga and all that other stuff. That's what keeps me going.
The self-care.
Self-care.
So like I've been thinking a lot about self-care lately and how it's so fascinating to me because I posted a status being like, hey, like hot tips. How the fuck do you keep this all together?
Oh yeah, and I made a joke about it. I think I said alcohol and
you did
something.
You were one of the rare women that didn't actually list a paragraph. And so I followed up that status with the idea that self-care culture is almost as stressful as stress itself, because I feel like as women, even with self-care, we try to do so much.
Yeah.
Like I had women commenting like, and they were all good suggestions, like do not get me wrong, but it was like, take a bath and make sure you read, make sure you get your sleep, eat vegetables. Like, it was just like thing after thing after thing. And I realized that I'm like, holy fuck, we're trying to do so much, even when it comes to like relaxing. Yeah. It's insane to me. And I almost feel like it's just about finding maybe 1 or 2 things that you can do daily, like that just are for you.
I think that's exactly what it is. If trying to relax stresses you out because you're doing 15 things,
that's how stressed
not
I am.
relaxed, right?
Yeah, I'm so
just
stressed.
Pick 1 or 2, because that's what
I
I do. I try to get good night's sleep. I try to eat well, and I always try to exercise. And those are the 3 biggest things for me. The
3 pillars.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's so smart. I mean, exercise is tough. Like, so how do you find the motivation to exercise?
I don't want to get fat.
See, I don't want to get fat, but I also love self-soothing with junk food. So it's such a fucking...
why you have to work out.
I know.
It's like, otherwise, I don't want to get fat. So that's all it is. I'm very vain. I am very vain.
And I like that you're honest about that.
I am. I'm honest about it. I am very vain.
So many people make it about, well, you need to feel, like, make it about feeling better. I'm like, no, I want to look better. I want to look good too.
Yeah. I want to look good for as long as possible. Yeah. And I feel like if you don't take care of yourself, like through, like, let's say in your teens and your 20s and your 30s, then by the time you're like 60, you're going to look like you're 95. And like, really? Like, do I want to look like an old shoe? Yeah. No.
So true. I want to be like the happy, blissful, having so much fun in life older woman. Yeah. And every single psychic I've gone to has told me, like, you're going to find happiness much later in life. And I'm like, oh, well... good to know I'll find it eventually, but kind of sucky that it's not happening right now.
Yeah, but at least you have something to look forward to. At least now, like, you're like, well, I won't, I'm not going to kill myself because later I will be happy,
That's kind of how I'm trying to see it. I'm like, right now it's like work your ass off time. Mm-hmm. And I just want to get, like I said, to the point where I can be like, I'm going to Greece for 2 months and fuck you all. See you later.
Exactly.
Hope you're all doing well. Yeah. Bye. I'm going to be on a beach eating feta cheese.
Yes. Oh, yes. And what is that? Spanakopita or something?
Yes. I mean, Greek food is like my favorite food. I fucking love Greek food.
Kalamata olives. Whatever the hell those are.
Yeah. So good. Like, nice. That's just my dream for myself, is to just be on a beach.
Oh my God. I can't wait for you to do this. I want to hear all about it.
And maybe I won't even have the podcast then, because I'll be like, I'm going away for 2 months. I'm not even doing that. Bye.
Well, yeah, put it on hiatus for it.
Yeah. That's maybe the only time I'll go on hiatus is for Greece time.
Greece. Yeah. 2 months. Hell yes. Do it.
Maybe not 2, because I have a cat. Depending on if she's still around or not.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that would make me sad about leaving my animals.
Yeah. I can understand that. I've only left Tula for the longest, like 10 days.
Oh, yeah.
And she hated me.
Isn't it? It's such a, like, having a little creature, like, greet you in the morning and, like, be at your bed at nighttime is the best feeling.
I love her. Yeah.
I know.
I love her. Even though she's not, she's...
She's not perfect.
She's very standoffish. She doesn't show a lot of love, but I love her.
But don't you think that makes it more special for the moments you have with her? Because you know that she truly loves you.
It's almost like a codependent relationship.
Yes.
Like, please love me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because my cat is the same. She's very, antisocial with other people.
Yeah.
Will hide a lot. And a lot of times, like, she has these sad looking eyes. So people are like, what's wrong with your cat? Is she?
Aww.
And I'm like, no, like, she's the sweetest little girl with me.
Yeah.
She's a one human cat, I think is what it is.
And that's what Tula is. She's a one human dog.
Yeah. And I think that makes it more special because it means that they truly love you and they form the bond with you.
Yes.
And they're not just going to give that away to anybody.
Yeah. They don't give it away for free.
Yeah. And I feel like Chihuahuas, because she's a Chihuahua, right? Like, they have that personality. Mm-hmm. They're not like a golden retriever, where golden retrievers love everyone and, like, will, like, probably lick the face of a murderer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was good.
Don't get me wrong, I love dogs, but
if I could ring the bell, that would have been a bell ring.
Oh, you can ring it.
That was a bell ringer.
You can ring it whenever.
Lick the face of a murderer. That is a golden retriever. That's why I hate those fuckers.
Right? They're too loyal.
Because they love everybody. Yeah. And I'm just like, you're just stupid. You love everybody.
That's the thing. And that's what I find with, like, a lot of, I would say, like, dog people versus cat people. A lot of times dog people are like, oh, well, like, dogs are so loyal and they're man's best friend and, like, they'll do everything for you. You're not. which I appreciate. Cat people are more like, well, cats, like, need to earn your trust, and everything is earned.
Exactly.
And that makes it more special.
Oh, I meant not every dog.
Oh, not every dog.
Because, like, just like golden retrievers will love everybody, Chihuahuas, I've heard, and I know Tula is like this. She's a good example of this. But I've heard that they will be a one owner dog, and if you like have to relinquish your dog, for example, they will not just go and immediately bond with another person. So kind of like a cat, where a cat is like, I don't have to love you.
I put them on the same level in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're also the same size as a cat.
Yes, exactly.
Like, if I were to ever get a dog, I think it would be a smaller dog.
Yeah.
Like,
you can carry them around.
Yeah, I can carry them around. I kind of have a soft spot for, like, terriers, like little terrier puppies.
Yes.
I have a soft spot for, like, the Toto from, like, Wizard
oh
of
my
Oz.
God, that's a cute little dog.
I hope to.
Do you know
eventually
Kids in the
own
Hall?
one. Kind of, sort of. I saw the Kevin McDonald show.
Yep.
I saw that show, but, like,
they sang a song on their show called "Terriers Are My Favorite Kind of Breed." You should look it up. You would love it.
I love terriers.
They're your favorite kind of breed.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Favorite kind of breed.
Yeah. Toto is cute.
I do want to own a dog at some point. It's kind of like a kid. Like, I don't want to fall in love with the idea of it if my life doesn't get to a point where I think it can happen.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that you probably can't have
this building. Actually, they did go dog friendly, but then what happened was they were overrun with dogs, and the shitty dog owners weren't cleaning up poop in the lawn, and so now they're saying no new dogs.
Okay,
so there's dogs in these buildings, but there's no new dogs coming in because the fucking owners weren't picking up the shit.
Shitty dog owners ruin it for everybody, and Halifax is not a terribly dog friendly city.
No, not really.
Not like the number of apartments that allow dogs is abysmal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, I think that I would get one when I'm at a place where I know I can have them. There's space. Mm-hmm. There's like a good yard. Like I would need the things to be in place.
Yeah.
Because even now thinking about getting another cat, I'm like, well, I need another room.
Yeah, right?
Like I just like, my sister's a vet and tells me a lot about, you know, like especially like even like litter boxes. Like a lot of mistakes cat owners make is like they all share a litter box.
Multiple cats
do that.
Multiple litter boxes.
And it's usually one per cat.
Oh my God.
Plus one.
One per cat plus one. So if you had 2 cats.
3. That's
really?
That's the ideal situation.
Wow.
Yeah. So even ideally with Mindy,
that's a lot of pooper scooping.
Right? Well, that's the thing. If I were to get another cat, I would 100% have to get another litter box, and I don't want to be.
You just don't have the room.
I don't have the room. Yeah.
You should get my old place.
Yeah, where's in Dartmouth?
Yeah, 3 bedrooms.
Ooh,
1,095.
I mean, even that would be in my budget.
It was amazing.
3 bedrooms.
You could have kitties galore.
You
could have 10,000 kitties and, well, maybe
I could have a
10,
cat room
000.
and a studio room.
You could have, it was fantastic. Oh, I loved it. I miss it, but I love my house. So.
Yeah, and is your house now a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom?
It is a 3 bedroom house.
You got 3 fucking bedrooms for yes. I love when I hear about single women owning houses.
Yeah,
because you don't hear it a lot.
No,
and it gives me hope, and it makes me want to know what you did to get there, and it makes me want to get my life together. Well, I have a friend, Catherine, who same thing. She owns a house, and
did she turn tricks?
I don't know. What does that mean?
It's having sex for money.
Oh. I don't think so. If she did, we're having an episode all about that. Is that something you think you could ever do? Just a random question for you. Okay.
No, I recently watched a documentary on sugar daddies and sugar babies. Did you see that on the CBC?
No.
Yeah.
It was on CBC? Mm-hmm. Well, I've had people on who have done it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. I have an acquaintance who was a prostitute, and I could not do that.
We were talking about this last night. Actually, I had 2 girlfriends over, and because I've done there was a brief period of time that I was on the Seeking Arrangements app, which is the sugar daddy app.
Yeah.
And I was messaging with somebody, and I just realized that there's 2 things that I need in place in order to do this.
Right.
If it's companionship and you're paying me for that, sure, I'll fucking talk to anybody.
Right.
I don't give a shit. But like, I need expectations to be set. In other words, I'm not banging you unless I'm attracted to you.
Yeah.
And what attractive guy is paying for sex? That's kind of my question.
Right?
That's kind of my question.
And I think that's what I like. I didn't watch the entire documentary because it kind of made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of these girls were doing, was that they were having sex with people, multiple people, and basically they were sex workers, and they pretended to themselves that they weren't.
Right.
And I was like, no, actually you're doing sex work.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with sex work if that's
Nothing.
what you want to do, but no, I paid for my house through like
You gotta have
government job.
You gotta have some sort of confidence and ownership over that, and self-awareness, and like
Right.
and knowing what you're doing and being secure in what you're doing.
Yes, and I think a lot of the girls that I saw in this documentary were kind of fooling themselves. They were like they thought that they were. Yeah, I think they just thought
we're just going on dates.
Yeah, they were going on dates, and I think they thought that they were. Some of them thought they truly had, like, out of like they had 7 guys that they were having these relationships with, and one of them they were like, "Oh yeah, well, someday we'll get married," and I'm like, "Really? Oh, I don't know about that."
Well, and it's such a tricky thing because I mean, like, I've been in numerous situations where I've been broke, where I've been like, oh, what could I do to get money at this point? You know, survival mode, all this. But it's like, when it comes down to it, it's like, I think it can actually become addictive in that, okay, you go out for dinner with somebody and they give you money. Oh, like, you might give them a hand job. You get a little more money.
Right.
And you keep getting more money.
Right.
And you're like, oh, shit, like, if I do this,
Yeah.
I could pay off my debt.
Right.
And it's sad, but also I get it at the same time because it's like it's just money in your pocket.
Yeah, I think it's like, sugar daddy, sugar baby thing. It's just a veiled sex work.
Oh,
act.
very true. Yeah,
And
100%.
And I just feel kind of sorry for some of the people that get involved and think it's otherwise.
Yeah.
And again, I see nothing wrong with sex work if that's what you want to do.
But it's the lack of
they're pretending that it's something different, and it's
right.
not.
That's so true.
I think it's.
No, I agree. It's a little bit
I feel
sad.
like people are gonna watch this and be like, "Oh my fuck, she is an opinionated bitch."
No way. I mean, that's
the
not
Prosecco.
That's not a strong like.
Talking.
And we're at the end of the episode, so whoever hears it deserves to hear it.
They're like truly committed to this interview.
Yeah. No, but like it's I've been in situations where I'm like, could I do it? And then I often land on no.
Well, you know what I almost did?
confident.
When I lived in Japan, I almost did what's it called? Oh my god. There's a term for it where women they sit in bars and they talk to men, and you're just there's a name for it. It's not hooker. What is it? So you're just you just sit in a bar and you get paid to talk to men. And I can't remember what it's called. And I knew a couple girls when I lived there who were doing it.
That would be fine.
And I almost did it, but because again, the previous topic, we talked about how I am such an early bird, like to go into Tokyo and to have that part-time job in addition to the teaching job that I was doing, I would have to stay up all night and get the train in the morning and then go to work. I could not do it. That is the only thing that stopped me from doing it, because I thought it would have been an amazing experience to like do something that, because there weren't a lot of foreign women who would do that job. Most of the people who did that job were Japanese.
Really?
But there were some foreign women that were hired to do that job, and I thought that would be a fascinating job.
Well, if the expectations are there and you're not expected to do anything else or pressured to do anything else, that would be amazing.
I think if you wanted to, you could, but you were just hired to chat with customers,
which is 100%, I think, a service that some people want, and it's
there's
a
lot of lonely businessmen.
A lot of lonely businessmen. And like, listen, it's intimacy. Some people don't have it. Some people have busy lives and they just want to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would love if I got paid to talk to someone, I'd fucking do it.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Exactly. I would too. Yeah.
Well, we should quit our jobs and move there together.
Yes.
And go do that.
That would be fantastic.
What a plot twist this will be.
I would love that. I loved Asia, and honestly, like, I I loved it.
I would love to go with a friend who's been there before,
Okay.
like with, experience and stuff.
As soon as I said I loved Asia, there's always a caveat, and it is that if I were to go back, it would have to be with someone else because it was a very lonely experience.
Yeah, I think that would be
Extremely
the culture
lonely at
shock would be
times.
too much, I think,
Yeah.
to go just by yourself.
Yeah. And I know people who went there, they had a partner, and to me it's a completely different experience because you always had someone to talk to.
Confide in.
Yes.
And learn together, kind of learn
Yeah.
about it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I often say about the Greece thing going alone, I'm like, I wouldn't mind having one person.
But a month is different. You're
Yeah.
not going to Greece for a year.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah. I think having one travel buddy
Maybe
would
for
be
a couple
ideal.
weeks. What if your travel buddy came for like 2 weeks in the middle? So you had like a week by yourself and then a week by
That
yourself.
would be amazing.
And you could do whatever you wanted to do. See, I'm very selfish and vain.
No, but I like that though because you're right. Like there is an aspect of traveling with a friend where you need to pick the right friend because you can't be with someone who doesn't let you see the things that you want to
Right.
see, and you don't want to feel bad about leaving them behind
Exactly.
either. So like you have to find the right person who's like matches your travel style. And I'm a very like I like when I was in Mexico, I like to do the beach day, relax, but then no more than one day of that. And
Yes.
then I'm out doing excursions
Right.
and things. Like I'm a variety
But
traveler.
what if your friend was like, I just want to spend every day on the beach, and why aren't you spending it with me? Ugh.
Yeah. Or they could be like, I want to spend every day on the beach. You go do what you want, and I'm here when you get back. That
That's
would
the
be
best
perfect.
type of traveler.
Yes. Because then you have someone you can come back to. You're like, oh my God, like, look what I did. Da, 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 da. And then, like, you can
Yeah.
just have someone to confide in kind of thing.
You
be
have to find
perfect.
someone who's able to negotiate that and be like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like I totally am happy spending the day on the beach, and then you come back and maybe we have dinner together.
Oh, that
Yeah.
seems like the dream life.
Yeah.
I just got sad thinking about that. I'm like, I just want someone to have dinner with.
Girl, I'll go to Greece with you.
Okay, let's fucking do it.
Cause I'm that traveler. I don't need to I don't need to have like I don't I'm like you have to spend every waking moment with me.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, when it does happen, I'm going to be confiding in my traveling friends and just being like, what do I do? And
Yes, exactly.
like building that network.
Somebody who's been to Greece before, you just ask them what are some things to do.
What and all the recommendations and
Yes.
stuff. I looked at Airbnbs recently there and I was like, holy fuck, this is so going to be so expensive. But like I said, I want to go big or go home. And I see this time in my life, like, I'm not taking little vacations here and there. I'm like, I'm going to just save for this one big ass vacation. Like I want to have my own infinity pool, motherfuckers.
Oh my God.
I want to stay in fucking Santorini for a couple nights in a fancy ass. That's
with your
my
own
dream.
infinity pool. That is fancy and expensive.
But then I would slum it otherwise, but I would have a couple nights where I'm like,
yeah. Well, like
real
how
fancy.
slumming? Are we talking about like youth hostels or
I
like
wouldn't want to do that.
just like a crappy Airbnb?
I would want my own room and my own like space.
Right.
But I don't need much
right.
for that as long as there's like electricity and a you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the basics.
Yeah.
And a bed. Because like I said, I'm not someone who would want to just stay in the hotel room. I would want to be out. So really the hotel rooms are for sleeping.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't spend much time in the hotel room, so it doesn't need to be fancy.
Doesn't need to be fancy.
It just needs to have a bed and a shower and be clean.
be
That's
clean.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Have some good reviews.
Yeah. Although I've been in some pretty dirty hotel rooms.
Oh, man.
Again, Asia. Very, very
We
sketch.
could do like a whole traveling episode. Oh, we've only scraped the surface with you. I'm so sad we have to end it.
That's okay. We can have another one sometime.
We can have another one. So this was Adrienne. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was my pleasure. I'm super honored that you chose me to be on this.
Absolutely. I'm honored to have you on. And tell the people, so where can people find you, follow you, stay up to date with your shows? Is there do you recommend that or no?
Yeah. I'm on Facebook as Adrienne Gabrielle, and I'm on Instagram as Adrienne Gabrielle. That's it. I really should be on Twitter more, but I'm not.
I mean, no one is. It's kind
Right?
of the outcast of the
Yeah.
social medias.
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
have
not
any
really
shows
on it.
coming up that like you could plug?
Oh, I just did one last night and it was fantastic. I am at Oasis on Tuesday, and I'm doing the women's show at Oasis in December.
Perfect. I will plug that one.
Is that December 3rd, I think, or
maybe?
December 4th?
I'll confirm it.
Yeah, and then I'm I'm going to New Orleans, and I'm going to do a couple shows there.
Amazing. Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yay.
That's probably one cool thing about being a comedian and being a traveler. Like, you could find some shows to do while you're in the city.
Yeah,
that you're
always.
seeing.
Every time I go somewhere, I pick up a couple shows.
And then you get the sense of the scene there.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I did. I did some in Amsterdam this year, and a bunch in Ottawa, and so
That's awesome.
I always try to do comedy.
Oh, good for you. Well, I enjoy you quite a bit. I'm so glad you came on.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll have to have a girls' night some night.
I would
and
love that.
Plan a trip
Yay.
or something.
Yeah.
I feel like I can trust you with traveling.
Definitely.
Like, for sure. So-
I'm not like a guy when a guy says, "You can trust me, I'm a nice guy." Fucking run. But I'm like,
We all know the nice guys.
I'm a nice girl.
You are. You're a lovely
You
girl.
can trust me.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
We end the episode with a bell ring, so you get to ring
yay.
the bell.
Yay.
Woo! Ring that bell. We got it. Done.